Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Ori and the Blind Forest. We are here for the Randomizer tournament. This is the second edition thereof. It's the 2018 one. We are very, very excited to be back on Speed Gaming with some more awesome Ori and the Blind Forest action for you. And we're going to be doing it randomizer style. I'm joined by two guests here today. My name is Voligen. I should probably introduce myself. And I'm joined by two guests, one of whom is one of the main organizers of the tournament, Rory Rai. He will be joining me for commentary, and I've also got the developer of the randomizer, Sigma Sin. And I'm gonna start with you, Sigma, and I just want you to give us a quick rundown. What is the randomizer? What is this thing that we're doing?
Oh man, yeah, the randomizer. So, on these speed gaming channels, you may or may not have seen a race, or maybe two races of Link to the Past randomizer at some point in all of these. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But basically what this is like a game mod for Ori, heavily inspired by the Link to the Past randomizer, that takes all of the pickups in the game, all the skills, the world events, experience, the keystones, the map stones, just throws it into a can, shakes it up, and dumps it back out. And then you have to explore the world in potentially some new ways to find your way through. Of course, there's some logic that makes sure that every seed for the randomizer is completable. You'll just have to maybe search the depths of places with just wall jump for 20 minutes to find your progression, but that's what it does, and it's a lot of fun to watch, so I hope you guys are looking forward to this tournament.
I know I am, and you did mention some of those Link to the Past randomizer things. We've seen a tournament or two, and primarily they've used the Swiss method to determine some of the rankings in their tournaments, and so we're going to be using that same method. We're going to be using the Swiss, and so we've got a show today to reveal our pairings. Rory, please tell me, what are we doing today?
We are doing something kind of interesting. We are actually going to be playing the randomizer. One of our other organizers, Meldon, who's been sort of the primary force behind getting all of this going, is going to be playing through a special seed here in the Ori randomizer that has all of the participants' names scattered throughout the world. And whenever he picks up two consecutive names, those two runners are going to match up against each other in the first round.
That sounds incredible. I am very, very excited to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be quite something. And not only do we have all the runners in this seed, we also have all of the doubles as well. So we'll be getting everything kicked off right here, and we're all going to find out all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea. The three of us here, we have no idea what's going to happen. None of the planners know what's going to happen. Meldon doesn't know what's in this seed. It's just going to be, kind of a fun, exciting experience for all of us to discover what's going to happen.
I am really looking forward to this.
All right, we're going to get Meldon started pretty shortly, but I do like that you mentioned the singles and doubles. We do have two different divisions in this tournament. You want to talk a little more about that?
Yeah, so singles is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's 1 versus 1 randomizer. You versus your opponent versus the randomizer, of course, because every run is really ultimately against the randomizer. So in singles, you're just sort of rushing through, trying to find everything yourself and get to the end as fast as possible, of course. But doubles is where we shake it up a little bit. Doubles, you actually have a partner, and you're both on the same seed, and you can freely share information to two of you. So it adds this extra dynamic of communication to routing and to figuring out where to split up and cover the most ground and ultimately beat your opponents. So yep. We're putting both of those two different tournaments into this same reveal scene. So there's going to be a lot going on here.
Not just that, but we will be showcasing both of those tournaments, all of the matches here on Speed Gaming. But now we are getting underway, and we're going to get started. And as you might be able to see, this looks just like Ori and the Blind Forest. If you have not seen Ori and the Blind Forest, then let's give you the very brief version. It's an indie Metroidvania. There you go.
That is, in fact, very brief. And I do want to just talk a minute about a little text box that you saw on screen a second ago. It said color shift enabled. Meldon's going to be randomly changing color every time he gets a pickup. Fun
Yeah,
little
that-
randomizer feature.
Yeah, that's one of a number of little randomizer features that have been added in, just to make the randomizer experience a little more fun. So we're already off. We're already picking up some different pickups. We've gotten a keystone from that first XP that I guess it would have normally been XP. We did get an energy cell from that second pickup, and now another keystone from this pickup here. So the energy cell was actually vanilla, and that is hard-coded to be that way in every seed, because otherwise, boy, it would kind of suck, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Sort of like this pickup here, Sign, Ori's companion traveling throughout the world. This is also hard-coded because without it, you can't, like, basic attack anything. And it's actually really, really awkward when you can't kill enemies. Meldon, of course, would have been fine with it because, he runs Signless, Dashless, Stompless, but...
Everyone's favorite category.
that meme aside...
We are on our way here. And Meldon's going to pick up these next two pickups, but with the two keystones he has already, he can continue towards the left. So keystones will open up various locked doors in the world. And we've got our first matchup coming up here.
This is a yellow-orange name, so that is actually a doubles team name, Lack Luck. That consists of, I believe, Lack and Luck.
That's right. Yeah, two of our runners who just put their names. Oh, and we got a singles pickup as well. That's Fluffy Prower coming from the location we like to call Fake Flippers. Nice little reference to Link to the Past Randomizer. You have to take damage in that swim to pick that up. But so we'll see. The next doubles pickup will determine a matchup for Lack to Luck, and the next singles pickup will determine a matchup for Fluffy.
So this is going to be really, really interesting. I can't wait to see these matchups actually come out. And as you'll notice over on the right hand sidebar, we have a list of all of the matchups that are going to be showing up in the tournament. So if you miss a pickup or you just don't see one of the matchups, you can always check back and keep up to date there.
That's right. And we do see a vanilla health cell coming from that pickup up top. There was one thing that we didn't kind of glossed over a little bit, and we'll see whether we get any interesting pickups. Oh, Spirit Light Efficiency, dude!
Spirit Light Efficiency. So one of the extra things that the randomizer doesn't actually just shuffle all of the in-game on-map pickups, but it also adds some bonus pickups. Spirit Light Efficiency is one of those bonus pickups. It actually doubles all of your experience. So Meldon is going to have quite a lot of ability points in the very near future.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very nice. It'll make it a lot easier for him to learn abilities such as, air dash, charge dash, and he finally picks up his first skill. So skills, you'll be able to see a little tracker down below the right side of the screen, and the skills are major upgrades for Ori's capabilities. Again, it's Metroidvania. Grenade is particularly nice in the randomizer. In vanilla, it costs half an energy to throw a grenade, but in the randomizer, we've actually removed the cost of grenades, so you can throw them infinitely, and boy, it's going to be pretty useful.
Yeah, and there was actually a very good reason why we had to do that. The reason that we had to remove that half an energy cost on grenade was because sometimes the randomizer likes to give you bash and grenade as your progression skills, since you can bash off of Ori's grenades, and it's just brutal when you can only throw 2 grenades before you have to teleport back to spawn to heal.
Yeah, exactly. So another feature that we just got to take advantage of, and it's actually the second time we did, we forgot to mention it earlier, it's called Alt-R, and it is exactly what it sounds like. You press Alt and R, and the randomizer actually teleports you back to the start of the game. That is a feature, again, it's specific to the randomizer. It's kind of like saving and quitting in Link to the Past Randomizer. And if you notice, we will make a lot of references to Link to the Past Randomizer. That is because the Ori randomizer is heavily inspired by that one. And here we do pick up our second skill, Wall Jump.
We can finally actually climb out of places. That was, and we have a matchup, Raziel.
Whoa. That's a rough one for Fluffy. Raziel is the doubles champion from last tournament, along with Sigmus and his partners. So Fluffy's gonna have his work cut out for him. But Fluffy is he's no Shrinking Violet either. He's a very good randomizer player. So I'm looking forward to that matchup.
But I don't know, Raziel. It's gonna be a matchup to watch. But I think Raziel has to be the clear favorite.
That is for sure. So we now also collect our first doubles matchups. We have Lacked Luck versus Team Cockatrice, and that consists of Chicken Supreme and Gecko, which I actually really like that team name now that I think about it. So I'm not too sure what to expect of that one. Haven't gotten to see a lot of Lack or Lux play, and you know, Chicken is kind of a wild card. He doesn't stream all that often, but he does pop up for the tournaments and stuff. So we'll get to see what that's going to be like.
Yeah, that's going to be one to watch, if only because I mean we have really no way of seeing what's going to happen just from seeing the matchup.
All right, well, now we're heading into Spirit Caverns. I think this is everyone's kind of favorite area early in the randomizer. There's just a high likelihood of finding things you need. In the top right, actually, it might be interesting to focus on that keystone counter. Currently, Meldon has 2 keystones, and you do have to consume these to open these doors. Now, the randomizer does have logic to make sure that you don't soft lock. However, you know, it's always possible that you do something weird with sequence breaks.
Right. The randomizer, I believe, assumes that whenever you get keystones, you just sort of immediately use them on the next available door. Which we're about to see.
Have you ever seen a Spirit Caverns where all 4 keystones were vanilla?
I don't think so. There's almost always like 10 experience or something hidden in there.
That was incredible. No skill, no nothing, just keystones. Great.
Yeah. I mean, it means we can go through, we can move on over to this upper charge flame area, and because Meldon has grenade, he will be able to progress through into the spider sack area, which is sort of the next vanilla progression as well. You're just supposed to have charge flame instead of grenade.
Yeah, and this would also have been the intended, like the vanilla intended way to reach the charge flame tree, but because we had grenade, as you mentioned, we were able to come up the bottom there, so Meldon won't need to go to the charge flame tree. And actually, this is a good time to talk about that. We have a mode in the randomizer, or a flag, called Force Trees. You want to tell me what that means?
Yeah, so what that means is that in order to actually finish the speed and complete the game, you have to visit all of the skill pickup locations as they were in the original game. Oh! Speaking of skill pickups, there is Stomp. That's really, really good.
Yeah, that is a great pickup to find there.
That will save Meldon a lot of trouble. But
actually, the Alt-R with that, so that's interesting. I wonder if he's planning to go into Blackroot Burrows. That seems to be the thing.
Oh no. I've just gotten hit with a Windows Update threat.
No, Rory!
Excuse me while I schedule this for not right now.
I'll miss you. Oh, man. Alright, so right now, Meldon is he's using a glitch. It's called Save Anywhere. Save Anywhere is a glitch that we use in most of the speedrun categories as well, and so it makes an appearance here. And basically, you are able to move with that ability menu up, and when you learn an ability while that ability menu is up, it saves wherever you happen to be standing. If you do that after triggering a cutscene, as Meldon just did, then that allows you to skip that cutscene. So right there on the entrance to Blackroot Burrows, this area, he managed to save, it's around like 15 seconds or so.
Yeah. Alright, I have successfully dodged the Windows Update. I will actually be able to stay here for the rest of the seed. Turns out sometimes you just get randoed in real life too.
Oh, the randomizer is very powerful, dude. It brings a lot to the table
game. Alright, so anyways, what I was saying a little bit ago about Force Trees, in order to sort of better simulate the actual speedruns that we do, which is all skills being the most popular category, where you have to pick up all of the game's 11 skills, we added the Force Trees flag because that sort of simulates that run as well. It allows you to see more of the map in a given randomizer run, and it prevents find sunstone, find water vein rush the end of the game.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more interesting as far as what skills are going to be required, and what types of movement you're going to have to do, and what types of exploration. So it's pretty nice in that way. Of course, all the seeds we'll play in the tournament will be with Force Trees. That's just the default. Everyone pretty much plays with that. And we will have 2 different modes, and we'll get to talk about the modes in a little bit, but we'll have 2 different modes for the singles and doubles tournament. The singles will be on the clues mode, and the doubles will be on the shards mode. And we'll be able to talk about that over the course of this seed, what that actually means.
Yes, it is basically, in short, it is a mechanism for placing the Sunstone, Water Vein, and Gumon Seal in a way that reduces the hunt for those 3 pickups. Because the Sunstone is obviously required to enter Mount Horu and complete the game, and thanks to the Forest Trees flag, the Water Vein is required to access the Bash Tree.
That's right. So here, Meldon has navigated Blackroot Burrows. As you can tell, this area is kind of a little bit slow. There's just a lot of walking that you have to do with this orb. Meldon did have grenades, so he actually could have lit the lantern in the previous room with grenade. Might have just forgotten about that, or whatever. But it's not a huge deal or anything. And here we're using Save Anywhere again. This is to skip another cutscene, and we're also going to see Meldon do a little bit of a sequence break here.
Yeah, he's going to come over here, and these crushers, you normally are expected to dash through them, but it turns out you can actually just climb on top of them and trigger the next one, and we find out what one of our next matchups is.
That's right, we're going to see Mr. Grease showing up there and getting his opponent, hopefully before too long. And you can also see, after you collect a tree, it pops up that little info window at the top. You can access that at any time by pressing the Alt-P key combination. Again, another randomizer feature. There's a couple things of that nature. And Meldon's going to come over here. He's going to check that ability cell, which requires dropping down. It would be really slow to climb back up after that. He says, I need this mapstone. So he's going to Alt-R. Rory, you want to talk a little bit about mapstones?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to mention that. So mapstones are actually a bit of a fetch quest in the randomizer. What you do is you grab a mapstone and you take it to any map pedestal that you want, you put it in, and the randomizer throws a pickup at you. And the interesting thing about mapstones is that, so there are 9 map pedestals, and the pickup that you get from any given map pedestal is dependent on the number of mapstones that you have previously put in map pedestals in the seed. So the first one will give you a different pickup. Or the first one will give you one pickup no matter where it is. The second one will give you a different pickup, again, no matter where it is.
Yeah, it's very similar to the progressive item concept in Link to the Past randomizer. Again, reference to Link to the Past because, again, this particular randomizer is heavily inspired by that one. I mean, Link to the Past randomizer is great. There's a lot of very positive things to it, so it's really cool that we've been able to take some really not features of that and implement in this one. And we have another minor sequence. Oh,
that was awkward. There's the sequence break. By using that Save Anywhere, Meldon is able to just sort of remove the kill box on the boulder, and it just sort of goes over Ori harmlessly. Conveniently also leaving this Frankie alive.
Oh yeah, and that Frankie actually in this particular case, because we have Stomp already, doesn't matter too much, but in other cases in Randomizer, you'll see people very, very intentionally leave that thing alive.
Yeah, you want to mention why we do that?
Yeah, so there's... Oh, well, I'll come back to that in a sec. We got from our next Mapstone pickup, Rainbow Poogle. So that's going to be our next singles matchup between Mr. Grease and Rainbow Poogle. Poogle, of course, one of the original followers of the 3 HP Master Race, kind of train of thought. And Mr. Grease is one of our French contingent who all are very skilled runners. And I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a pretty good one too. Just another sort of fun thing. Grease has actually created a generator bot that we're able to use in order to not have to deal with the web GUI for the seed generators for Ori.
Yeah, you can come on into our Discord and you want to randomize your seed and you want to get set up. We'll help you out. It's very, very easy to set up the Ori randomizer. So we are more than happy to help you figure it out. It is a ton of fun. There's different difficulty modes that expect you to do different levels of stuff. So if you're like a casual player only, that is totally fine. We have a casual mode. And if you are a speedrunner of this game, then we have the standard mode, which expects you to kind of have that speedrun knowledge.
And it gets even, it does get even crazier from there as you get more experience with the randomizer. There's expert and master as well. But we're playing on the standard mode for this tournament, so that's what this seed that Meldon is playing is.
That's right. And here you see Grenade being put to use for, breaking a couple of those walls, which is kind of an intended feature of Grenade. And then also lighting up that lantern in the top left. And there you go. There's our first shard. So now we can talk about the fact that this is on shards mode, and we just got a shard of the Sunstone. So what is shards mode exactly, Rory?
So what shards mode does is it's going to take each of the 3 dungeons, the Sunstone, the Water Vein, and the Gumon Seal. I said those completely out of order. And it splits them up into 5 pieces, 5 shards. And in order to given the key, you only need to find 3 of those shards. So by doing that, it sort of increases the chances that any given pickup will allow you to find the dungeon key. So by doing that, we're able to sort of reduce the hunt for single pickups that can be placed anywhere on the map, regardless of logic and what skills you have.
Right, exactly. We're trying to, in Ori, we try to avoid having the, the ice rod equivalents as much as we can. Obviously, there's type of pickups where it can be literally anywhere, and it's just one thing, and you just need to go find it. But
Grenade.
in the case of the key, yeah, exactly. But in the case of the keys, we do. Oh, that's dash. That is a fantastic pickup to find in that specific spot. That is going to make things a lot faster for Melon.
Yeah, I think that probably is going to single-handedly reduce our estimated completion time by quite a lot.
Nice timely level up there to kill that enemy and just get him out of his way. Meldon's going to check this one pickup here that's in Horu Fields, and it's pretty slow to check, and particularly if you don't have Stomp, which he does have, you need that Baneling to break that.
He keeps forgetting that he has it.
We do also find our next name. It's Matter Monkey. So we'll see who Matter Monkey's opponent is going to be when we get the next singles pickup.
Oh,
which is not that. That's double jump.
That is one of the least necessary and most satisfying pickups to have in the randomizer, in my opinion.
I wholeheartedly agree. Double jump is fantastic. We also get this Kuro cutscene here. Normally you skip this in like the all skills speedrun, but this is actually triggered as soon as you have the stomp skill, kind of regardless of what like order of progression you are in the game.
Yep, and usually in randomizers we come through this area so much that if you have stomp, you just sort of want to eat the cutscene. It's only 17 seconds. It's not the end of the world to take the time loss, rather than try to go over it every time.
Yeah, and skipping it's not particularly easy depending on the skill set you have. Without Bash, there was really no way for Meldon to get to those last couple things he checked without just eating the cutscene.
Yep. And we're gonna head over into this new area, or on this side of the map, which there's quite a lot of pickups over here that he can access, but he can't get into like swamp proper right now.
That's right. The swamp area in particular is where the tree for the stomp skill is, and there's kind of a set of barriers that are blocking the way to get into it. Actually, the intended way to get into swamp is via the Ginso escape. So you finish the Ginso tree dungeon, which is actually right here, but we don't have the key for it. And upon finishing it, you are actually just teleported into swamp. But because Alt-R exists in the randomizer, we actually can't put that in logic or its potential to soft block. So as a result, you will always be expected to be able to enter swamp via one of the other methods.
Yep, and I was about to say something. So, oh, right, I was going to talk about where we're expecting... Oh, well, now I'm not, because we have another matchup. And this is another sort of unknown matchup. Galaxy, Matter Monkey's opponent, is a complete unknown in this tournament.
Yeah, at least to the Ori community. Galaxy, very, very skilled speedrunner of a handful of other games, particularly Super Meat Boy. I believe she has 11th place in any percent in that game, which is very, very impressive. But I don't know that I've seen her play the randomizer before of Ori and the Blind Forest, so who actually knows how that's going to turn out? It'll be very interesting to watch.
Yep, and Meldon did also just pick up Climb, kind of useless right now. However, in the event that he finds Charge Jump later, we're going to be able to see some sweet grenade jumps.
I agree. Well, a little bit. I agree a little bit. I'm just thinking about like, grenade jumps, the inputs. We'll talk about that when it happens.
Yep.
But we also noticed that he had to go under a pickup. He picked up that XP while off screen. That's something. And
it's always something. Especially because that XP doesn't always spawn when you're in that cutscene. Sometimes you just get up there and you're jumping around on that platform really sad because it's not there.
That was Gecko popping up there, and we'll see his opponent just a little bit. We also get finally our next doubles team is the Slurp Squad popping up here.
I believe the Slurp Squad includes Galaxy, who we just mentioned.
That is correct. It is Galaxy and Flagger Moose, or also I believe known as Moose_SR. And they are, again, both pretty much, unknown factors to us. Like, they haven't, as far as I know, played the randomizer of Ori and the Blind Forest a whole lot, but they're both experienced speedrunners of other games. So certainly going to be interesting to see what they pull out. We also just saw a rocket jump from Meldon. Go ahead and give me the lowdown, Rory.
Yeah. Rocket jumps are a glitch that we can perform by using a charge dash on an enemy that's above us, and then canceling it with a jump or a feather input. Of course, jump being what most people cancel it with, and it lets you access a lot of extra pickups early on.
Yeah, and so we're going to see a lot of those kind of minor sequence breaks. In the meantime, we did get our next doubles matchup, and it is my team, Fanta Jin, going up against the Slurp Squad in round one. Fanta Jin consisting of me and Fant_TV, and we are going to have a good time in that matchup. I have literally no idea what to expect.
Well, at least this team, we can actually say some things about. You two have one of the interesting things going on. You're one of the teams that is actually going to have the real-world advantage. You can actually play the game in the same room.
That is correct. Fant lives pretty much within quick driving distance of me, and he'll actually be coming over to my place to play these matches, which is something I think there's 3 teams that are going to be capable of doing that. So that'll be pretty interesting to see if that helps us at all, or if it just does not at all because, of our deficiencies in randomizers and all.
And meanwhile, we picked up the bye, so the next doubles team to get found by Meldon is going to not have an opponent in the first round. And that is because both singles and doubles actually had an odd number of entrants. In fact, you know how many singles and doubles teams we had, Fulgen?
Oh man, I believe the numbers were 45 and 17. I'm sure we'll get corrected on that shortly.
Yes,
Hey,
45 and 17. That is an insane number of participants, up from last year where we barely had, like, 16 or 19 unique runners.
Yeah, it's really, really cool to see the growth in the Ori community and the interest in the randomizer. So we're picking up more things here in Moon Grotto, and one of the things that we've picked up, we've gotten 2 shards of the Gumon Seal. Gumon Seal is the key to the Forlorn Ruins, the second dungeon of the game, and the fun thing about Forlorn is most of the time you pretty much just want to avoid it in the randomizer.
Well, I expect Meldon will be making his way there at some point. Meanwhile, we have our next singles matchup, Gecko versus Trojan Dude. Want to tell us about that one?
So I haven't seen a lot from Gecko in quite a while. Gecko's been... I'm trying to figure out what... Okay, Meldon was trying to... I see what he was trying to do.
He was trying to energy glitch there.
Yeah, exactly. And he was having trouble doing it. It's a really weird little glitch where you just...
And then he gets the refill.
That's perfect.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was trying to do that glitch where if you place an energy in that door on the last frame that you're in range of it, it will leave the energy in it even though you're out of range. And unfortunately, that's a kind of difficult trick to do on this particular door. So he gave up on it. He was trying to preserve an energy. And then it turned out the next thing he picked up was an energy cell, so it doesn't matter.
And we're going to get to see a fun one here. You can break that ceiling with Stomp on the floor.
You can also break it with Charge Flame, which he just picked up, so that's interesting.
That is like
coming. Go ahead.
It's like the least sturdy piece of terrain in the entire game. There,
it really is.
Blow at it, it dies.
So going back to that Gecko and Trojan Dude matchup, I don't think we've seen a lot from Gecko in quite a while. He used to be significantly more active as far as doing speedruns of the game, but it's been a little while since he's been around. Whereas Trojan Dude, of course, is, he's done a lot of All Steelers. He was in the semifinals of the All Steelers tournament earlier this year. He's a very skilled speedrunner of a number of different games, and he's kind of known for having his approach that he pretty much works out for himself, and then he just calls it a day. And here we get the bye for the first round of the doubles tournament.
Yeah, and that is Team Heck, which is Shed and Oshi, 2 of our fellow planners, actually. Oshi also being one of the main sort of trackers and support members for all of these races. He's actually helping us track this race right now. Shout out to Oshi for all of that work.
Agreed, and shout out to them for getting the I'm not even sure I'd call it advantage, but just getting the privilege of, having to bypass the first round. It does mean that they don't get to play like a tournament match this first week, but I mean, you're not gonna complain necessarily about starting 1-0.
Yeah, every time that someone gets a bye, that will be counted as a free win.
Well, we'll be continuing up here. You did touch on something a little bit earlier that I'll go ahead and go back to, which is, we are picking up basically every single pickup. And the reason, of course, is that there's all these team names distributed through the seed. And, I mean, Meldon's got to find them. They got to be somewhere. He does pick up Glide here. That's a really nice pickup. It's going to, in combination with Wind Restored, it's going to allow him to navigate the game world a lot more easily in certain locations. But, yeah, he's going to pretty much need to 100% this seed to find all these names.
Which means that those Gumon Seal shards he picked up earlier are probably going to come in very handy. I would not be surprised if there's at least one name in Forlorn. And hopefully it's Muffins.
Yeah, I mean, given how few names we've seen early on, I have a strong feeling that there's going to be a lot of names.
Oh no, that's my team. that team skill list is myself and Meldon, actually. We were finalists in the last doubles tournament. Last year, we lost to Sigma and Raziel.
And your opponents are going to be twice the Baguette, which is the team of Grease and Luster. So you're going to be going up against those two. Grease, of course, we know a fair bit about him. Luster, I don't know that we've seen him too much, but I know that he's been working on all dungeons recently. And,
which is,
of course, you're very familiar with.
Yeah, that is something that I've held world record in on numerous occasions. At one point, I was working on a task for it. I know quite a bit about that category, but he's been threatening recently to show up and just steal a spotlight there.
Oh man, Meldon is he's trying to get the everyone's favorite pickup. This is called the Dash Plant. It is a piece of garbage. It's in the worst possible spot. Getting to it sucks.
It's one of those awful one-offs. It's so far out of the way, it's just a waste of time to go get it. And yet it might be something important.
Yep, and with wall jump and glide, it's actually already in logic, but he also has double jump, so he has more than enough stuff to get in. It's just a health cell, so I guess it could be worse.
Yep, and another thing that we should definitely talk about is some more of those extra randomizer specific pickups, namely Mega Health and Mega Energy that we've seen a couple times. What those do is they basically fully restore your health and energy and give you a +5 temporary.
Yeah, if you're familiar with their mechanics of that type in like Binding of Isaac and like Hollow Knight and stuff, where you can get temporary health basically that you have like an extra buffer, but after the health gets consumed, you can't refill it until you get some other like power up somewhere else.
Yep, and we're just gonna head on down into the grenade area, which is actually not usually something that people will do this early in a seed. Usually it's available pretty early, but nobody bothers coming down here because there's actually so few pickups that it's not really worth it most of the time.
Yeah, whereas in this seed, which we're effectively 100%ing, it might be that Meldon is planning to just head all the way into Lost Grove right now. Lost Grove is, when it comes to Ori Randomizer, it's a pretty lost area.
Yeah,
it's very uncommon to head down there.
And it looks like he's going to be leaving this the intended way. Normally in speedruns, we have charge jump here, so we can just sort of ignore this grenade puzzle and go back out the way we came in.
But alas, no such luck this time, although we do have like nearly all the skills. We're just missing charge jump and bash. And bash is a very nice skill, so missing that is really unfortunate at the moment, but it's kind of giving you an opportunity to see what you can do with these other skills in Ori and the Blind Forest. And that's really like a large part of what Randomizer is about, is giving you kind of different skill sets than the normal, and then seeing how you navigate the game world with those.
Yep, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, Meldon, pretty familiar with not having bash. He runs Signless, Bashless, Stompless, so this is no stranger for him. Well, this area is, but...
We're gonna see a couple pickups here. We're getting some keystones. Meldon is up to 11 keystones, so I think he'll be totally fine when it comes to keystones. There's 40 total in the game, and there's a number of doors that you can just literally never open and still be able to 100% the seed.
Right, I think the minimum requirement that you need to open doors, there's a couple doors in the Wall Jump and Sunken Glades area. There's a door in Moon Grotto, there's a door in Swamp, a door in Ginso, and there's maybe a door in Sorrow. Why?
Yeah.
You want to tell us why I say maybe there?
Yeah, so Sorrow is pretty special. There's a teleporter that you can access that allows you to reach the one thing you care about in Sorrow, the charge jump skill tree, from the top side, going around without having to open the keystone door that normally blocks it. And you might think like, well, don't you have to get to that teleporter? And actually, you can pick up that teleporter as a pickup in the game world. That is a feature of the randomizer. There's 6 teleporters, which it's possible to just pick up as, you know, like activate the teleporter by getting this thing. Now, we haven't seen any of those yet, I believe, but it'll be interesting to see if any of those end up factoring into the play here.
Yep, and I think the most likely ones that could show up and be relevant are going to be Sorrow Pass that we just talked about, Valley of the Wind, and Forlorn Ruins.
Yeah, there's a left side of the map teleporters, as we call them, because we're very clever. But, you know, basically just any teleporter that allows you to bypass some of the paths to the left side there. And we did get our next matchup. It is Skull Blocka versus Shed. They will be going against each other in the first round. That will be very interesting. Skull Blocka, primarily a randomizer player. She did participate in the All Skills tournament, but for the most part, she has focused in randomizer in her Ori career. And Shed, of course, is you know, he's got a pedigree as a very well-known Ori speedrunner.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, oh, and we have another one, Roos versus Rue.
That's an interesting matchup as well. Roos and Cutie Roo being 2 of the you know, participants in the couples teams. I believe we have 2 or maybe 3 couples teams. I'm not sure how many.
At
but
least 2.
Yeah, Rue and Roos are in 2 of them, so that will be a fun matchup to watch.
Yep, man.
Rue's got her work cut out for her.
Yep. And of course, we'll mention those teams when they show up. Meldon going for something a little risky here, but he manages to pull it off and get the cell and 1 experience. Perfect. That is something that Sigma put in just sort of to troll us. It is the 2nd worst pickup in the game.
Yep. Again, if you're you know, if you're a fan of Link to the Past randomizer, that's our equivalent of like the single arrow. There's 1 pickup in the game that is 1 XP, and so there it is. It was located at what we call the Glazer, the Glades laser.
Because
and,
again, we're clever about our names.
Oh, very, very the cleverest, Rory.
Of course.
So now we're gonna go for another crappy pickup, the Glades laser grenade pickup.
That's a name.
Yeah, it has this grenade lantern that you have to light to get through this wall. There's a number of locations like this in the game where there is a lantern that has to be lit with grenade, and there is no way through that unless you do out of bounds or something,
Yeah.
but
See,
that is not allowed.
And the unfortunate thing here is that Meldon doesn't have energy, so he can't actually do this.
Well, now he doesn't have health either.
Yeah.
Alright, he's gonna have to come back in a little bit, but yeah, that's alright.
It is entirely
Where are we?
possible that that could be a necessary pickup, but he's just going to grab this energy, and he might go back right now. Can't make up his mind. Make up your mind, Meldon. He's getting more energy.
Oh my goodness, Meldon, please.
I mean, hey, it works. It's not like we're on a clock or anything here. There's no opponent. It's just playing against the randomizer itself, and by extension, sort of, kind of Sigma.
Very, very accurate. We're just gonna kill all these enemies, just get them out of the way. He's almost got a level up here. Maybe he'll take that off the frog. No, he's not going.
He's gonna save that. He's being smart.
Yeah, it's very difficult to manipulate your level in the randomizer, but if you can, it can be incredibly helpful. Oh wow, okay.
And that was
that's a
worth
water
that.
vein shard. Yeah, that was super worth.
So that is 1 out of 3 pieces of one of the mandatory keys. Of course, I say it's mandatory because there is a skill tree in the Ginso tree. We do have to collect that in order to finally finish the seed.
Doesn't Meldon have... Oh, okay, I see. He's taking a save. I was going to say, he has Wind Restore and Glide. He went to the right here, where there's a pickup which you can collect with Wind Restore and Glide. And he didn't get it. He Alt-R'd, but that was because he wanted... Oh my god.
That is... that is exactly what we want to see here. Pretty much the entire map is now open to Meldon. He can just sort of go over to the left side in Valley of the Wind at his leisure now, because he has everything that he needs.
He's missing exactly one skill, and that one skill is actually a really nice skill. It'd be really great to have right here. It's Charge Jump, and it would allow him to get through that ceiling there. He does pick up Sunstone Shard from that swim location right there, which is not... It's a sequence break. Again, it's a minor sequence break, like most of these other ones he's doing, where there's a pickup in an area. Theoretically, he shouldn't be able to get to it, but he can use, you know, his health, his resources, his abilities to get it, even though the logic doesn't expect him to.
Right, and then there's another one of those extra randomizer only pickups. He grabbed extra air dash. So as the name implies, he now gets 2 dashes before he has to touch the ground. So I'm not totally sure where he's gonna head to next. Maybe over here, it looks like. Just grab these few.
Yeah, he can get these pickups here. He can't necessarily get into Swamp, but that's okay. He does pick up another name. It is Aiko. Casts Holy.
There's Charge
Aiko
Jump.
is... Oh, that... Well, we're done with skills. Literally done. We've got every one of
We're
them.
now just in 100% mode.
Aiko, of course, is well known for being... one, is only a randomizer player. He's kind of one of the few players who is only a randomizer player, does not speedrun the normal game, but he is a very skilled randomizer player, and also helps make a lot of different tools that people have used to kind of learn and play the randomizer. So it's really cool to have him participating in this year's tournament. I think he picked it up after last year's tournament, so he didn't have the opportunity to enter that one.
Yep. So we'll be seeing who his opponent is, hopefully pretty soon. We've gotten through a decent number of names already, surprisingly.
Yeah, and yet it somehow feels like we're still kind of light, but yeah, we've had 6 singles matchups so far and 4 doubles matchups. Again, you're seeing more rocket jumps from Meldon, just a really nice, quick way to navigate the game world if you have the ability to do it. All you need is dash skill and the charge dash ability, which requires a total of 9 ability points, which he had long ago. And he also collects the final shard that he needs to assemble the Gumon Seal, number 3. So he now has access to Forlorn Ruins.
Yep, and I wonder just when he's gonna head that way. I don't think it'll happen for quite a while, unfortunately, but I hope it does happen.
We did also, if you took a look on the little info screen that popped up, again, you can always pop up an info screen during... Oh, hey, there's Aiko's matchup. It's against OG.
Speaking of info screens.
And, OG, of course, is well known for having the best splits in the Ori and the Blind Forest community.
Yes.
And also the most splits, and also the most data.
His live split is just a giant monitor-sized window times.
I remember the time he streamed where the entire stream was just live split, and then like in a tiny corner was the gameplay, and it was pretty great.
Yep, I remember that one. That one was something.
Oh my goodness. Well, to finish that thought, the Alt-P info screen, which you can pop up at any time while playing a randomizer seed, that popped up just a minute ago on Meldon's screen. It also has, for this particular seed, an indicator of how many names he has picked up so far. And so just a minute ago it said 21 out of 64. Now it'll be 22 out of 64. So that is how many we're expecting to see today.
Yep. We've actually seen almost half of the doubles teams. So where did he teleport to? So going left, maybe? Possibly, hopefully? Yes. There's quite a few more areas over here with a lot of pickups, including one of the highest density pickups, highest density areas in the game with Sorrow Pass.
For some reason, he wanted to pick up that XP there. Now, and we do get another team name. We get Transatlantic. Actually, that is a team name that has just changed as of today, so we didn't have the opportunity to update it in this particular seed, but that is the team of Dedu and F. So those guys are going to participate in doubles against somebody that will be, found out in the nearish future.
Yes, and because, of course, the bye has already been picked up, it will definitely be against somebody.
Oh, we're seeing some double bashes from Meldon. You want to talk about the double bash trick?
Yeah, double bashing is a glitch in Ori where you can bash, and then the frame after you release that bash, you can bash again. And it lets you... Oh, well, I'll come back to that because we now just got Infinity Death Gauntlet, another doubles matchup, and you may notice that we had to abbreviate Infinity on our layout because this team decided that their name just had to be longer than we could support.
Indeed. So that is the team of Dr. Tuin and Jay Halcyon. So we'll be seeing them go up against Dedu and F. Again, these are, teams that, in the case of Dedu and F, we've definitely seen a fair bit of them in all skills. Dedu also, of course, has played a ton of Randomizer and does very well in the weekly races. But for some of these other players, we haven't gotten to see them participate in like the community randomizer stuff, so they'll kind of be wild cards to some extent.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. But so back to what I was going to say before we found a matchup, there's going to be a lot of that this seed. Double bashing basically lets you bash something in one direction and then bash Ori in a completely different direction, usually the same direction as the thing that you bashed, because then you can bash it again. It is a frame-perfect trick, and without the randomizer, it is essentially keyboard and mouse only if you want to be consistent with it. The
it's very, very difficult.
Special.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to... Oh, wow, okay. All right.
We'll have to talk
just
about
got
that
three
special thing in a little bit.
So we just got 3 things. We got, 4 things. Okay, so we got 3 names. We got another matchup, Jay Hobbs, 296, will be going up against Ushebti. Ushebti most well-known for Hollow Knight speedruns, but also rapidly getting more skilled at Ori and the Blind Forest. Jay Hobbs, of course, has done a lot of games, most well-known for Kingdom Hearts and also being the Crash 3 in Insane Trilogy world record holder. And then Sinyadriel, a newer runner, sort of newer, was around last year for the tournament, but actually that was when they completed their first seed ever. So that was an enjoyable experience. It was really cool to see someone just come out and be like, "I'm just gonna try to do this," and he did. So there you go. And then we also picked up Clean Water, and then we got another name.
Team. We can't talk about all of these teams. So City Escape, that is a doubles team here.
That is of Trojan Dude and Cutie Roo with the fantastic team name, of course. Everyone loves City Escape.
Yep, and that is one of our couples teams, actually.
That's right. They also will be playing from their home together, so they will have that that physical proximity advantage there. But we'll see, of course, whether that helps any of us local teams.
Yep, local teams have a potential advantage, of course, that advantage being that you can look directly at your teammate's screen.
Yep. All right, so we got the final shard of the Sunstone out of, well, it's the 3rd one out of 5 that exist, but it is the 3rd one, meaning that we collect the entire key. The others are just extra, and so we'll be able to get into Mount Horror when we like, and we also collect shard number 2 of the Water Vein. And we've checked a lot of pickups so far, Rory, and we've still only found 28 names.
Yeah, not even halfway done. I mean, I was fully expecting that we would be going to some of the more obscure areas in this seed, but it is looking more and more likely, and I'm really excited about that because some of these areas are areas that you're not going to get to see very often in the randomizer, especially thanks to Altar.
Yeah, exactly. Forlorn Ruins, not visited very often. Mount Horu, if there's something in Mount Horu, the final dungeon, by and large, most people will just not get that thing during that seed, unless it's a key.
I'm fairly certain that one of the 200 XPs in R4 is just like always dash in seeds where I don't find dash.
You're not even wrong.
And it's like every time I check a spoiler and I see where it was, it's like, oh, well, that was never going to get found. Because it's just never faster.
All right, here we go with another matchup. It is Sinyadril versus Jay Halcyon. So again, Halcyon participated in the All Skills tournament earlier this year. He managed to, I think he was seated 57th when we came to the bracket out of 71 runners. So of course he's, he's less experienced than a number of other runners, but he has been around the block a little bit, and so he'll be counting on some of that experience to help him get better at randomizer quicker. And then of course still we have seen him in last year's randomizer tournament. It's really nice to have him come back, and we'll see how he's improved since then.
Yep, and Meldon will, with this, be clearing out all of the last pickups in Misty, so there's no chance of... We've gotten Meat Shield, another singles matchup.
We'll see who his opponent's going to be, and now we get to do everyone's favorite thing as Meldon deals with this mini-boss very quickly. It's pretty straightforward with stuff like charge dash and charge jump, and...
We say that. And yet, there was a rocket jump in there somewhere.
Well,
Though, to be fair, Meldon doesn't play this the category that does this. He just runs SBS, which skips...
That is correct.
I think skips that.
God, do you Terra Clip? I don't remember.
It has no reason to do that. I don't remember it, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, in any case...
carrying this orb back, because this orb, as much as it sucks, is another pickup.
Yeah, and he tried to actually drop the orb to get invulnerability frames there to avoid the damage from that projectile, and I don't think it worked, but it doesn't really matter that much. He has acquired the Ultra Defense ability. Yeah, and he's also got, it looks like 9 health there, so yeah, he's fine.
It's basically
any amount of
health.
He even got a mega health earlier, so yeah.
Yep, and he is going to be doing a cutscene skip on this one. This is one where we can't actually not watch the cutscene. We can just regain control during it, but it will spawn the Gumon Seal, which is the pickup that we care about, and it is going to be another Sunstone Shard. That's unfortunate. Meldon is going to go ahead and do some blind movement here. I don't actually know how far he's going to go, because most people don't really practice going to anywhere other than a specific place. He's just going to float up on the lid.
Yeah, and the camera actually seems okay, which is surprising. Usually when you do that off-screen movement and go all the way to Valley, the camera gets a little bit messed up, but in this case it's fine, so that's cool. And we are now heading into Sorrow Pass, so we're going to pick up some things there to get the most important pickup. That is a incredibly sarcastic remark. It's Warmth Return. What does Warmth Return do for us, Rory?
Absolutely nothing. Like, I would rather see 1 XP than Warmth Returned. But other things that I'd like to see is more matchups. We just got 2 more names.
That's right. We got Meat Shield a little bit earlier in Misty, and he's going up against Ozzy889. Ozzy, best known for running a number of different games. He's run Dead Space, he's run Odin Spear, and we just got another matchup. Ozzy also, I just want to mention, runs an online marathon called the Cal Fire Relief Marathon. We'll actually have an Ori randomizer race there, so that should be pretty cool. We also got the Flying Marlin versus Sea Average.
And Uncle Ronnie as well showing up. The names are just coming fast now, which is kind of expected. This is Sorrow Pass. It's late in the game. This is the highest density area of pickups in the game. Oh no. Oh no.
Alright, so we have just discovered that Rory is doomed because he is going up against Uncle Ronnie. How do you feel about that matchup, Rory?
I just hope that he's not as good as Randomizer as he is in all skills.
And we also got Wilson popping up. Wilson and Uncle Ronnie, of course, the finalists from the All Skills tournament earlier this year. Both incredibly skilled players. Wilson's still trying to get better at Randomizer. Randomizer's kind of its own beast. There's different skills involved, and it'll be interesting to see with some of the players who are more experienced in the normal speedruns versus Randomizer, kind of how they how they go about getting better at that.
Yep, and I just want to point out that Oshi has just fired some shots. He says Wilson is easy.
Well, Oshi is the one person in the world who might be able to say that, since he did beat Wilson in an all-skills race.
Yes.
So I appreciate the opposite order of, baby!
Sigma! Alright. That's going to be a matchup to watch. both of them are incredibly skilled all-skills runners, and Sigma, of course, the creator of the randomizer, knows so much about the logic. There's a reason why his doubles team won last year.
Yeah, if there's any matchup that could have actually been scary for Wilson, it is definitely going up against Sigma. Sigma is definitely one of the top randomizer players. He always places very highly at all the weekly races. And here we're actually going to see Meldon do a cool little glitch. This is called a Terra break. He's going to die by charge jumping into these spikes. And he just made a save anywhere save right below the ceiling. And so the charge jump damage actually carries through the respawn, and he manages to break the ceiling. He's going to go get the Sunstone here. Well, the vanilla Sunstone.
The thing that the Sunstone would be, he's already actually got the Sunstone. There are actually only 2 pickups up here, so it's incredibly rare that you'll ever see runners come and check these during an actual race anymore, because it just takes so long to get, and the odds of anything being up here are so small. But in this basically 100% seed, there's no reason not to.
Pretty much. And it will be a little hard to see what the pickup is from the Sunstone behind the Save Anywhere menu. We need to do this to skip a cutscene, but we can do Alt-T, the combination that shows you the last pickup you just got. And that's what Meldon just did, and we found out that it was a keystone, and we finally find our first teleporter of the
Which,
run.
unfortunately, we already have, so that's basically a dead pickup.
That's pretty great.
But we've got more names coming in.
All right, we've got Dr. Tuin, one of the half of, well, I think they were Infinity Death Gauntlet, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's correct. So, Dr.
Fortunately.
Tuin. Oh, and we've also got our next doubles matchup.
Yeah, and fellows, that's going to be Cleanfell and Kyrefell. Clever name there.
Cleanfell, of course, one of our newer runners, picked up all skills for the tournament earlier this year, and his goal is to play every category of Ori and the Blind Forest, which is quite a lofty goal.
Yeah, especially now that there's like 4 different versions of every category.
Yeah, pretty much. And Kyrefell has been around since actually the first All Skills tournament. They're separated by about as many miles as you can be separated by, Cleanfell being in the southeast United States, and Kyrefell being in Australia, but it's fine, whatever.
Yeah. No, not like time zones are a big deal when we're trying to schedule these matches or anything.
It's fine.
It'll all work out. But they'll be going up against City Escape, so that's gonna be something.
I think the word you want is, or the words you want are scheduling nightmare.
Yes. Those are in fact exactly the words that I want. And I think that those words are going to be pretty accurate for anything with fellows in it.
Alright, it looks like we're heading back into Moon Grotto. I'm not sure what, if anything, we originally skipped down here. Ah, the map, got it. Alright, so yeah, we're going to need to check all those map pickups. Again, they are progressive, and I believe we've dropped 5 map stones into maps so far.
Looks like that says 5.
I believe we also still have 3 map stones in his inventory. So he's going to need 1 more map stone. There's actually 11 total map stones placed in the game world by the randomizer. So you don't necessarily need to collect every single one. There's a little bit of leeway there, just like with shards.
Yep, and the reason for that was because it turns out when one of the water vein or sunstone is on map stones, and you need map stone 9, everything is just awful. So we're going to be heading down all the way into the bottom of Lost Grove. How often do we see this area?
I don't remember the last scene I watched that somebody went down here.
Yeah. Every once in a while someone will come down and get the pickups below the lasers and behind the frog door. But this door, this fight room, no one ever does this.
Oh, I love the fight room, dude. The strats are so great, especially when you have charge dash. You just press charge dash over and over again. And then everything dies.
Yeah, I think like 5 charge dashes just kills everything without you having to do anything.
And if you don't have charge dash, it is completely and utterly miserable.
Yep. There's the little dash grenade tutorial, but we know how to do that.
Yeah, you actually can just completely like skip that little casual puzzle there and just go directly up that shaft to throw your grenade, and and we'll be able to pick up 2 pickups here. There's this ability cell, and then there's a hidden XP right above it. You know, one of the interesting things about randomizers in general, and in particular this one, we'll talk about this matchup in just a moment, is having to know every location of an item that exists in the game. Yeah, we got a matchup there, Rory. What is that matchup?
That is Dr. Tuin and you, Vula. So, I guess, how do you feel about that one?
Well, you know, again, it comes down to, as far as the randomizer community goes, Dr. Tuin, as far as I know, is kind of an unknown quantity. I don't know what to expect. You know, I've certainly been trying to get better at the randomizer, but it is difficult to go very fast. So, you know, like 50-minute seeds are still common for me, and I don't know what to expect from Dr. Tuin, so we'll see.
Yep. There's another one, BRB, found in lower BRB. Imagine that.
That's fantastic.
That is the team with Fluffy Prower, very first singles matchup that we found, and Mad Insane.
Who is both
Mad and Insane, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see grenade jump. Here we go.
Maybe.
Oh, okay, well,
If it doesn't
second
mess
try. It's fine. So this is a cutscene trigger skip, and there you go. He got it there, and he picks up that XP. There's a cutscene there that is like a solid minute long. If you do a grenade jump, you can skip it. What is grenade jump, Rory?
Grenade jump is a glitch that I believe we found it around the last All Skills tournament. No, not the last one, the first one, the original one.
Yep.
And you can do a climb charge jump off of a wall, and if you throw a grenade either the frame before or the frame after you jump, I can't remember which, the game just sort of forgets to slow you down.
Yeah, it's grenade and then jump 1 frame apart. Yeah.
Okay. I just mashed the 2 buttons on my keyboard and it happens. I don't actually remember which thing is bound to which button anymore.
Oh man, so we're heading up to the Ginso tree now. This is in the vanilla game. This is the first dungeon. You need the water vein to get inside here, and you know, we've talked about it, we've alluded to it a little bit, but the keys to the dungeons are very, very important. And so, you know, to get into this dungeon and access one of the 10 skill trees, the Bash tree, you do need the water vein. So that's required in every seed, effectively, unless you play without the force trees option, but pretty much no one plays without that option.
And we do get a little bit of a treat here because we already have clean water coming through this area, which means we get to see this absolutely gorgeous background.
That explains why Clean Fell showed up here, because so clean.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was a mini boss there.
Are you sure?
Well, I saw a brief flicker of purple in the middle of the screen that got obliterated by over 80 damage from the various things that Melden just did. Oh, and Clean Fell gets the buy.
Wow. So that is just an automatic 1-0 there. I'm sure he'll be glad to take that.
Yeah, although going up against whoever's going to be 1-0 in the second round is always, you know, kind of a frightening prospect. Like, am I just going to immediately get like Sigma or, you know, Shed or something like that? That's pretty scary.
And we just got another doubles team. That was Team Duo Leaves, Aiko and Skullblocka.
That's right. So Aiko and Skullblocka are probably the, you know, like they're the most rando-centric players that there really are. Like, they are basically entirely focused on Randomizer. Skull did participate in the All Skills. Oh my god! Are you kidding
Oh my god, yes! Oh, that's beautiful. So if anyone was following the All Skills tournament that we had back in the spring, this was basically the grudge match. Is Terra versus Grimelios. They were both on the same doubles team in the first Randomizer tournament. And all of the All Skills tournament, there were just memes and memes and memes about Terra versus Grim and which one was better, which one was worse.
They're very good friends. As you mentioned, they are on the same doubles.
Oh,
no. We're on the same doubles team. We did get Melden's matchup. That is going to be against Brynhold.
Well, Melden is doomed.
Yeah, Brynhold, a Swedish runner who is incredibly skilled, but like you almost never see him stream or play practically. He just comes out of nowhere and is incredible. So that'll be interesting. He's also the inventor of the rocket jump technique, so that's always a fun little fact to call back to.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool. The rocket jump is one of my favorite tricks.
So yeah, I'm very excited for that Grim and Terra matchup. That is ridiculously hilarious for it to show up in round 1. We're now seeing the team Smasheroo pop up. That is the team of Smashy, who's actually restreaming this run for us. Thank you very much, Smashy. And the Roos is Loose, or Roos SR as he goes by now. And they're another one of the couples teams, so they'll be playing from the same location. And we also got Lack showing up on his singles side.
Yep. So just more matchups coming in. We've got to be almost done with these. We may not actually end up going to some of those side areas.
No, it's gonna be worse. We're gonna get like 2 pickups in Horu. They're both in L4, and they're the names. I'm sure.
I hope so. Nothing against Melda. He is my teammate after all. But I hope so.
Alright, there's our matchup. It's Lack versus Agendrakir, or Richard, who is also one of our restreamers extraordinaire, and is well known for being a photographer and helper at GDQs, and just a really cool community member. We've also got the next doubles matchup. It's 3 HP Master Race, Rory.
Yep. And if anyone remembers, we mentioned earlier that Rainbow Poogle, one of the pioneers of the 3 HP Master Race, well, she's on that team, so is Uncle Ronnie.
Covert Muffin getting the privilege of being on the final pickup of the Ginso escape.
Unfortunately, that is the wrong escape for Muffin to be on.
He really wanted that forlorn escape, but unfortunately not going to be the case for him. Here's a little randomizer quirk. The game just briefly soft locks here for like 10 seconds because of a weirdness about having the UI off, skipping the text, etc.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
So, a little bit of swimming here. Another thing that almost never happens. But, well, there's 4 pickups down here. So, gotta get them. And extra double jump. One of my favorite extra pickups to get. I like to call it quad jump, because once you get that triple jump skill leveled up, well, we get 4 jumps.
Yeah, and we'll come back to that in a second as we got our matchup between Muffin and Lister. Again, Lister, newer player of the randomizer. I believe he was just being recently introduced to the randomizer by one of his friends, and so we'll have to see how quickly his progression goes. And we do get our next name as well. It's Tass Snoop, most well known for his Mario Kart Wii tasks, but also a very skilled speedrunner of pretty much, I think, only this game, actually. I don't think he's done other, RTAs.
Yeah, not that I know of, but I do just want to rewind for a slight second and mention that Muffin was the singles tournament champion last year.
That is great.
So that is going to be quite a favorable matchup for him.
Yeah, going against a newer player, it's going to be really rough for Lester in that matchup, but it's randomizer. You just do your best. Really, like any kind of race, you just do your best. You try to play as well as you can, whatever your current skill level is. And I mean, who knows what happens, right? Muffin could end up not going to Horu for like an hour, and it turns out, oh hey, Dash was there, and Lester went immediately, and who knows?
We'll have to see, but it is definitely going to be a rough matchup. Speaking of going to Horu, I really hope that happens.
We should be seeing in a little bit. I haven't seen an Alt P recently, so I haven't been able to keep up with exactly how many names have been revealed. Definitely the majority. I'm just not 100% sure exactly how many.
Well, there's another one.
That's Sloters going up against Task Snoop. Sloters is, a randomizer connoisseur, but he's actually most well known for Super Metroid in general. He's a very skilled Super Metroid runner, and he also helped organize the randomizer tournament for Super Metroid, if I recall correctly. Or maybe it was the multi-category tournament. I'm getting my details.
Yeah, that sounds right. So Oshi in our truck informing us not very many names remain. There are 8 left, and they've got to be just scattered around in all these one-offs.
Yep, and so Meldon's going to be checking these. Again, he's going to practically want 100% this seed, because the names can be literally anywhere. and he's going to need to make sure he gets all of them because we need to know who is facing who. Whom.
Yes, that word. Unfortunately, while it is blue, the Water Vein Shard is not a up, so we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. But there's still quite a bit more left for Meldon to check. He's going to take advantage of some bikes here.
Yeah, that's always a fun little thing, just knowing little bits about the terrain of the game, and in this particular case, there's just that one spot of the spikes there that isn't set up to deal damage, so you can just stand right on it and throw a grenade. And he's also going to take a quick swim here. There's a pickup under here. I think he got the other XP in the ceiling area earlier, and now we get our next singles name. It is Didu, another one of our French contingent who is an incredibly skilled all-skills runner.
Looks like he didn't get this pickup. Unfortunately, no name. Maybe it's fortunate.
Oh, dude, energy regen is exactly what you want.
Yep, that is another one of those randomizer-specific pickups that we add just for that little bit of extra flavor. Slowly restores your energy over time. There is corresponding pickup health regen. Looks like the swarm getting a little bit of trouble here.
I do particularly enjoy when it comes to you know, the health and energy regen. I enjoy the dumb strats of you know, just if you find yourself a little low on health or energy, just standing around and waiting for your health to refill.
Yeah, because it's faster than going and finding a crystal.
Yeah, very, very infrequently it is actually faster to do that, but boy, it is it slow.
Yep. In the original iteration of regen and energy regen in the randomizer, it was significantly faster, and it was actually like impossible to die.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is, you know, it's tuned to a little more reasonable level. The nice thing is having health regen. Basically, the instant you are less than full HP, it immediately regenerates a tiny sliver of HP, and that means that you effectively can take 1 extra damage before dying at all times.
Yep. Assuming, of course, that you don't take all that damage in 1 hit.
Yep.
It doesn't do you much good if you take a hit and star.
All right, so we, you know, we're still waiting on Didu's opponent. We were checking some of the more crappy pickups. We were checking up on the long swim in the valley entrance area, and now we are heading back to the, you know, kind of the main area of valley where the teleporter is, and it looks like we are making a trip to the Forlorn Ruins.
Maybe, if we get there.
Oh, come on, we're doing it. We're
getting there. I believe we're getting there. There's quite a number of pickups on the way down, though. There's a couple ability cells, another map that that Meldon can put in, as well as several experience orbs outside of Forlorn itself.
Yeah, that's right, actually. I think we're still at 5? No, we're at 6 maps now, I believe, maybe?
I think so. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I've tried to keep track, but it's easy to forget specific things like that. But yeah, to get access to this map monument here in Valley, you need to get this good old Baneling to blow up the walls, not your face. We'll need to use him twice. That one just blocks the way to the Forlorn approach. Now this second one blocks the way to the actual map altar.
And of course, we do have to collect this map altar, just in case there's someone on map 9.
Cool, map 9.
And it looks like, I think that's map 7 is just put in.
I believe that's
correct. We haven't been to Forlorn and we haven't been to, so those 2 map stones are still available.
That's right. Man, these teleporters have all just been in garbage locations. We just picked up the Grove teleporter. That's the main one near the Spirit Tree, and just like, why is this here?
Oh, that is still faster. That is Sigma and Raziel's doubles team.
Yep, and actually we do know their opponent, but we're gonna, you know, leave that a little bit of a surprise for when we actually get that pickup.
Yes, this is.
But unfortunately, their opponents already know who they are.
Yes, this is the last matchup, and their opponents are probably not too pleased with that one. Sigma and Raziel, their team name is still faster for a reason. They were faster last year.
Oh yeah, the doubles tournament champions, Sigma and Raziel. Another little bit of a cutscene skip here. Yeah, I'm over your team.
Yeah.
As well as Meldon. I'm sure Meldon is having thoughts about that as well.
Well, at least we avoid them right off the bat.
That's right. You get at least one round of reprieve. So here Meldon is navigating the Forlorn Ruins, just taking some damage boosts because he can. There's no reason not to. There's lots of different ways to navigate this. One of them, of course, is the intended way of using the gravity orb, but why would we bother doing that? We do get our next matchup there.
Yep. And that is going to be Flagger Moose going up against Dedu. Again, like we mentioned earlier. Moose, wait, Forlorn Teleporter in Forlorn? Okay, so that aside, Meldon's a little confused by that one too. But that aside, Moose, a bit of an unknown. I have never seen him run Randomizer or any Ori category.
Yeah, we're told from his sign-up form that he has run all skills, no out of bounds, no teleport anywhere, which is kind of the the most popular category of this game. But I don't have like a leaderboard entry from him, so I'm not sure what his time's like. I do know, again, we mentioned it very briefly with his team earlier, Slurp Squad, but I believe he has a 32 in Celeste. And there you go, there's our final doubles matchup complete. We already knew this one. It is Asa Tims versus That Is Still Faster. Asa Tims being the team of J-Hobbs and Rebel Watt. So that is going to be, their work is going to be cut out for them. They're both skilled runners, but boy.
Yeah. They can't be feeling too good about that matchup. That is, I think That Is Still Faster is one of the teams that everyone wanted to avoid.
Pretty much. So that is that'll be fun to see. One way or the other. It's still randomizer. You can always get. We use the term randoed in both Ori and like Link to the Past. Sometimes the item that you need is in some completely asinine place, and that's just the reality, and you just completely miss it because you're like, I'm not gonna check that one thing, and oh well, that
items being in completely asinine places. The orb has actually gone missing.
Kind of need that, unfortunately.
Meldon is running back through the dungeon in order to find the Forlorn Orb so that he can actually progress.
What?
That is what we are seeing here. And there it is, everyone. It never actually left its original spot. Oh, Ori.
This is why everyone hates Forlorn, by the way.
I don't hate it too much, but that's because when I run it, I just ignore the orb.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This category of randomizer is no out of bounds permitted, so we do actually have to open the door into the other right side of Forlorn, where there's, I believe, 3 pickups.
Correct. There's a plant over there. So plants actually in the vanilla game are not a pickup of interest. They don't give you anything other than a pile of XP. But in the randomizer, they are made to give you something because it increases, like it makes it so that charge flame and grenade have like an actual value to them. And then there's also a health cell over there that you'll want to pick up. And then there's the escape.
Yep. And escape is something that I actually would like to talk about a bit because while we probably won't see Meldon do this, there is a plant in the Forlorn Escape. That plant has a fixed pickup on it because it's possible to not actually be able to get it if you don't get it in the one time that you're able to go through there. That pickup used to be 100 XP, but that got changed relatively recently.
That's right. It became Grenade, and the reason why is basically in one of the 2 modes, Clues mode. So we're playing Shards mode today. We haven't talked about Clues, so we'll give it some talking right now. Clues mode is where on your 3rd, 6th, and 9th skill trees collected, and that doesn't count Spirit Flame, so it'd be the 3rd like actual other skill location, and the 6th and the 9th. When you collect those, you will get a clue as to what area the next the next dungeon key is going to be in. It's random per seed, so like in a given seed, the first clue might be for the Gumon Seal, in a different one it might be for Water Vein. It will tell you what area of the game it's in. And the problem is that some areas of the game have pickups that strictly require Grenade to get. And if you get one of those pickups, like you get Sunstone is in Valley, and it's like, well, you've checked every other pickup in Valley except the ones that are blocked by Grenade, and you can't find Grenade anywhere. Now you would just have to search the entire rest of the seed for it, which kind of sucks. So Grenade is here in the Forlorn Escape.
Yep, I actually had that happen to me once before this change was made. I found out that the water vein was locked behind Grenade in Swamp at about 50 minutes. It took me an hour to find Grenade.
Oh, baby.
And that was with all other skills, so I had Dash.
Yeah, I've definitely had an experience like that.
And meanwhile, we just picked up a matchup, and he's going to display it again for us. Thank you, Meldon. Mad Insane versus Hydra SR. Mad Insane, well, he's mad and insane, but he's pretty good at Randomizer. Hydra, of course, one of the top all-skills runners. I expect to see some good things out of that matchup.
That will be very interesting to watch. Mad Insane is definitely kind of the original, like, madman as far as Randomizer goes. He came up with a lot of very interesting strats for Randomizer. You know, he found out that you can, like, stomp the Tumbleweed in Sorrow Pass to get it to block the laser, which is like, really, what? You know, just a lot of little things like that. He actually came up with the swamp entry trick that we use in the all-skills speedrun to save about 35 seconds instead of doing the Ginsar escape. Hydra, though, Hydra's really interesting. Hydra plays every seed as though it's a master difficulty seed, as far as I've seen. So it'll be hilarious to see what his approach is as we go through this. What? Did he never pick up this energy cell?
So he didn't have wall jump when he came here the first time, and he had to ult R, and he just never went back.
All right, so here's the challenging part where you actually have to, like, remember what all things you actually have or have not checked.
Horu.
Yes, dude.
I think that is actually all that's left, is just Horror Field and Mount Horror itself. It is, of course, entirely possible that we get both of the last two names, which, of course, are the last singles matchup. We do know what it is, but we're going to save it and let Meldon pick it up and show it to us. It is entirely possible that we get those two matchups, or those two names, picked up in Horror Field itself, and we don't actually have to do anything in it.
That would be something, even in, like, this, you know, this seed setup to, you know, exhibit the Swiss matchups and having the names be 100% randomly placed. There's no logic to the names because obviously they don't block anything, etc. And having them actually all show up outside Horror, that would be quite something.
Yes, it would. Though there aren't actually that many pickups in Horror itself, so it wouldn't be too unsurprising, but it would be unfortunate. So here's hoping that we get something decently low down in Horror so that we can see at least a little bit of that dungeon.
And there's one of the names.
Shoutouts to Oshi, in our truck right now. He's been updating us on who is left with every name that we've picked up for like the last 20 minutes or so.
Indeed, and we do actually know who his opponent is, and you'll find out in just a few moments when Meldon picks it up, or in a few minutes when he picks it up in Horror.
Yes.
But we're just about done here.
One more pickup in Horror Fields. If it's not this one, he will be doing Horror. If not, we'll just get to see the standard finish from Randomizer Seed.
Alright, it's in Horror.
Good.
Oh, maybe we're softening up a little bit on those lava rocks, but
it's okay. We have like 1 million health.
I mean, we did
we had 9,
really
but now we really have like 1 million health.
Even a Baneling only does 6 damage, and he has Ultra Defense, which would reduce the damage to, I believe, 4. Or maybe 4.5, I forget. But he's going to head into Horror, and we're going to see what approach he opts to take. There's actually alright, so he's gonna go about it pretty standard, but there's a couple tricks he can do right at the beginning. Oh god!
He didn't do the fast strat there, I'm disappointed.
Well, he almost did a fast strat of dying directly in that lava. Oh gosh.
So let's just take a minute to talk about where the pickups are. There is this map stone, or map pedestal rather, but it's not there. So that is usually map 9 if you ever have to put in map 9. There are 3 pickups, 3 I think, there's, yeah, 3 pickups in R1. R1 being the top right room, L1 being the top left room, R4 bottom right, and L4 bottom left.
He's
What
doing. He's doing a
Meldon,
cutscene skill.
Meldon, do game storage. Come on.
Nope.
He's doing the old-fashioned cutscene skip of a door warp here. This used to be in some of the categories that came into this room, but it has recently actually been routed out of those categories, which is so nice.
So
for
he didn't
watching.
quite get it, and he's gonna go ahead and just watch the cutscene. But what he was attempting to do was enter the door on the first frame that he loaded. That causes what Rory referred to a door warp. Each door has like a special location. I don't know exactly what it's connected to, but there's some like game thing that it's connected to. And in this case, it would have warped him to the outside of the L1 door where he had just placed his save. So the goal was he would have then been able to rekindle the save, and the cutscene would have been skipped. But oh, there we go. There's
there
our
it is. So that's it. Now he just has to head back out and actually finish the seed, which will probably happen via another door.
Indeed. So this is the other door warp is the most commonly used door warp, and the one that we use in all skills in particular. You can save just inside the front door to Mount Horu, which actually automatically happens when you enter for the first time. And then you reload the game, and you exit, I should say, that door on the first frame, and it will actually just teleport you directly to the end of the dungeon. So
And we're
that is
about
what
to see
Melvin's
that
gonna do.
here.
See how many attempts it takes. One!
First try. And yes, he is going to come over and check XP here.
Good old the validation XP, as we sometimes call it. Just like in Link to the Past, there is absolutely no specific need to pick up the validation XP, but if you do, then you get bonus points in somebody's eyes for some reason.
Yes. And every once in a while it's something that matters. But almost never.
Pretty much almost never, yeah.
And,
well, there we go.
So that's it. We just have to complete this final escape, which is actually a pickup.
Indeed. What do we get? 64 XP. Oh, baby.
Not even enough for the level up. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and Meldon took the opportunity to like learn nearly every last ability in the red tree as he was finishing up, which is intended for dealing damage, and there's nothing to damage in the final escape, so it just really does not matter at all.
You could kill this elemental if you really wanted to.
No, that's true. Or the fish.
You can kill the fish. I know some people definitely do that every time.
Well, since Meldon has all the skills, he has a couple options for what he can do here. He's going to do what we call fish strats, where he's going to use this fish to, he's going to incinerate the fish.
Rip fish. I mean, I guess that kind of happens anyways, whenever you do fish strats.
That's true. Well, instead we're going to do a grenade jump again, and this particular one, when pulled off successfully, will allow him to skip about half of the final cutscene. And there it goes, second try. GG to Meldon, he will be able to finish up in about an hour 24. It's really fast for 100%ing a scene like this, practically.
Yeah, that was quite something. The only thing that he didn't do was clear most of Mount Horu, which is, I mean, kind of expected. Like, he left it for last because that way, if it was whatever he picked up, he would be able to just go straight on into the end of the game. And turns out there wasn't very much there. So, GG to Meldon for finishing that near 100% seed. And we have all of our round 1 of Swiss revealed.
We do indeed. So, I'm going to read all these matchups out loud, just top to bottom. Let's go, dude. We've got Fluffy Prower versus Raziel. We've got Grease versus Poogle. Matter Monkey versus Galaxy. Gecko versus Trojan Dude. Skull versus Shed. Cutie Roo versus Roos. Ico and OG 1764. Hobbs versus Ushebti. Syl, aka Sinyadriel versus J Halcyon. Meat Shield and Ozzy889. The Flying Marlin versus C Average, Uncle Ronnie versus you, my friend, Rory Rye. Wilson versus Sigma, Dr. Tuin versus me, Vol'jin, Cleanfell getting the round one by Grimelios and Terra21 with the grudge match. Meldon versus Brynhold. Lack versus Richard. Muffin versus Luster. Snoop versus Sploders. To-Do versus Flaggermouse. Mad Insane versus Hydra. And Oshi versus Infinite. And my voice is dying. Rory, take over for doubles. Let's go.
Absolutely. We have Lacked Luck versus Team Cockatrice. Slurp Squad versus Fantagen Yorkeen. We have Team Heck getting the bye. Team Skillless, my team, versus Twice the Baguette. Team Transatlantic, which I believe is getting renamed, versus Infinity Death Gauntlet. Team City Escape versus Fellows. Team BRB versus Team Duo Leaves. Team Smasheroo versus 3 HP Master Race. And that is still Faster versus Acetims.
Oh my goodness. So many really incredible matchups here, and then so many that like we just don't know anything about, and I cannot wait to see what happens in some of these, and what some of these like newer players bring to the table, and what surprises we get from our more experienced veterans as well. Rory, I'm going to put you on the spot. Pick one matchup from either of the two divisions that you are just like super excited about, and it can't be Grim versus Terra because that's too freaking obvious.
But yeah, I was gonna say that one. That is definitely one that is gonna be worth watching, but I don't know. This is hard. I think Wilson and Sigma, because if Wilson can get his randomizer game on, that is gonna be such a good matchup because they're both so incredibly skilled.
I agree. That is a really good pick. For my part, I am definitely thinking Mad Insane versus Hydra. I just really want to see what different approaches they're going to bring to the seed that they end up playing against each other. I really want to see if Mad has got any like new crazy stuff that he's come up with since the last tournament, the last randomizer tournament that is. And I really want to see if Hydra can figure out how to play a standard seed like standard.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was going to be my second pick for matchup that I thought would be really interesting. So, with that out of the way, let's just talk about the format of this tournament just a little bit. We're going to have 5 rounds of Swiss lined up over the next weeks. Scheduling for that first round for these runners begin immediately after the stream ends, with matches beginning next week.
That's right. Starting Monday, our matches will be getting underway on, Labor Day. Hopefully we'll have a nice whole bunch of matches to be able to bring you. Well, Labor Day in the United States, at least. But we'll continue throughout the week. It'll be a very similar format to the links to the past tournaments you've gotten to watch, as well as other randomizer tournaments that have probably happened. We will be having the play in the singles and doubles going simultaneously effectively. So you'll get to see all the matches. It's all going to be on the Speed Gaming channels. Make sure you follow twitch.tv/speedgaming and speedgaming2 through speedgaming 6. All of those channels exist. There's probably more. Who even freaking knows at this point?
Thanks, LTTP.
But yeah, I mean, Rory, if there's one thing about the randomizer that you're most excited for people to get to see, because we had a randomizer tournament last year, and that was very, very exciting and enjoyable, but we had a much smaller audience for that. We didn't get to show it off to you as large a stage. What are you most excited to bring to kind of, the general speed gaming audience?
I think the cool thing that we're going to be able to show off with this randomizer is all of the different areas of the game that we've never shown off in our speed gaming events in the past. We've just done 2 all skills tournaments, so it shows off, those specific areas that the skill trees are in, and while the randomizer does showcase mostly, it shows them in an entirely different way. And I really like that about it, because in a sense, we as speedrunners are getting to play this game and solve it all over again.
I could not have put that like any better myself. The thing that I'm particularly excited about is just seeing the different skill combinations that people are going to get and how they're going to navigate. Like this game is, if you play it the casual way, it is somewhat straightforward. I don't want to say straightforward as in like you're not going to die. You will die many, many, many times.
Many hundreds.
but what's intended for you to do is usually very straightforward. But in the randomizer, when you're going to get, you're going to start the game with climb, grenade, and bash. Good luck.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see, just showing that off to people who just have not really seen this game in this particular way before, maybe who have watched the All Skills tournament, but they haven't seen the randomizer before, or people who just have not even watched Ori and the Blind Forest before. I'm very excited for that.
Yep, absolutely. And especially because, well, in this seed, we didn't see Meldon do any major area sequence breaks. Nothing too crazy, but there's a lot that's possible. We can do Glideless Sorrow, believe it or not.
I guarantee we'll see that at least once in some race.
Absolutely. So I'm really, really excited for this, but it is about time for us to wrap this up. You have any closing thoughts for us, Vula?
Well, I just, again, want to thank Meldon for playing this seed for us and on the big stage. And, particularly, as we've both mentioned already, 100 or nearly 100%ing this seed in under an hour and a half is very, very impressive. If he had done the rest of Horu, it would only have been like another 5 to 10 minutes. So that would have been really, really amazing. And this time is great. So good job to him. Thank you to the entire planning crew. I've kind of taken a step back on this one. I'm usually a much more active organizer, but in this case, it is primarily other people like Meldon, like you, Rory, and numerous other organizers: Smashy, Hobbs, Hydra, Grim, Griffs, Tara, Richard, Shed, Sigma. I went out of alphabetical order, so now I forget if I covered them all. But man, you guys do a great job, and I'm very excited for the tournament. And you go ahead and, what are your final thoughts?
My thoughts, just this is going to be really, really exciting to watch. If last year's tournament was anything to go by, since then everyone has only gotten better at the randomizer, and we have such a good crowd, so many more, and it's going to be really exciting. So make sure you all tune in.
All right. Well, Rory, it's been a pleasure joining you here for this commentary. I'm glad we got to do this. I look forward to commentating more matches in this tournament.
As do I. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Please make sure to stay tuned. We're going to get you those matches scheduled in the very near future. But for now, have a good weekend. Enjoy Celeste in about 23 minutes on this same channel.
And try not to get randed.